But from a business perspective now, when it comes to operations, how can you stay alive through partnerships? If I'm looking at a developer in this example.
There's all kinds of partnerships on stuff you can do. First of all, of course, you can regionally check out who are other development studios. Get in touch with those guys, right? There's so many cases that one studio does really well, actually has a shortage of people to do stuff. If you know them well, they're gonna call you.
I had
If
that
you're in
happen
trouble.
at PGC, where there was one studio who, surprisingly, after I'm trying to pitch lead generation services to the founder, he's like, yeah, I do all the business development. I'm like, okay, great. And then he goes, yeah, we just have too much work, but we just refer it to one or two partners. But I got from an idea, like he wasn't out looking for partners. So unless you were on his shortlist, you would never know.
Exactly. So first of all, you get to know them, right, on this kind of peer level. Then you can also build relationships with someone who's different than you. Let's say, you're a developer, you can build a relationship with a publisher where you try to not only do one project, but multiple. You could have a general agreement, all that kind of stuff. You can build relationship to all those guys, the razors and all those hardware guys in the world, right? Maybe do something with them, or they have you on the horizon when you do self-publishing, you get more reach, etc., etc. You can go also explicitly in other regions. I mentioned this in my talk about State of the Union on what to do to the future, because there will be more development talent also in low-cost countries. So we can either try to see them as enemies, which I despise. I'm heavily anti-racist, and there's so many oppressed and underprivileged people out there. Now going against them just because it's my own interest, I think would be really a bad thing, right? So what's the obvious answer here? Reach out to them, become partner with them, and don't do it in a exploitative way. But in a win-win way, right? It's totally legit to go to a low-cost country and say, "Hey, you guys are way lower cost than me. That's awesome." So that statement per se is not bad, right? And then say, "Okay, I'm gonna pay you maybe better than you would get in your region. It's still much lower what I have to pay." So it's a win-win thing, right? And I think this is also partly the way to the future, is to have different people from all around the world with different talent, but also with different kind of cost attached, how the flexibility is and all this. And I'm not saying that anytime soon we are going to be like in the movies, where for every movie you kind of, for shooting, you bring in all those people and then they all leave and maybe you call them again in 2 years, right? I don't think that will ever happen in gaming. But thinking a little bit in those principles, what's behind that, I think totally makes sense.